see more evidence that comes to light in regard to Diddy and Cassie? Will we see more videos come out? Will she, maybe she might make a statement, right? So let me know in the comments, do you think that more evidence is going to come out? Say yes or no in the comments. And then if you would like to, if you feel like it's going to be some good tea, hit the teacup emoji. If you feel like whatever about to come out about Diddy, hit the teacup emoji. So it's yes or a no. And then if you think it's a yes, hit a teacup. If you don't think it'd be good information, just be quiet. All right. So a lot of people are saying yes, 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 yes. Y'all see all these yeses? All right. So I'm going to look and see what evidence is going to come to light in regard to Diddy and Cassie. What can you expect in the future? Hit the motherfucking skull emoji, get my goddamn engagement up, hit the like button, okay? Like my shit, let my engagement go up. I'm an independent Black content creator with 2 Black women on here, and we're about to do the goddamn thing, okay? Got 45 people on here, and if I check my YouTube, y'all motherfuckers better have 45 goddamn likes on this bitch, okay? That being said, hit that motherfucking skull emoji to power me up, y'all. I'm a Power Ranger. All right, it's more for time. Okay, so more evidence coming to light. So we're going to use my old school spirit board spread where we look into the spiritual challenge, the intuition, what needs to be organized, the hidden advantages, the best path to take, and the outcome. So in regard to Diddy and him, in regard to Diddy and the evidence that more evidence that will be exposed in the media, what is going to come up, we have a 3 of clubs. So this is indicative that so the 3 indicates arguments. So we're actually going to, and it's the 3 of clubs, we're actually going to hear an argument. We're going to see him angry. We're going to see him yelling, yapping, berating people. So this is not going to be, yes, this will be tea. It will be salacious. And it's also clarified by a 2 of hearts. I'm not making this shit up, and you can see, and these are looking at the cards too. But this 3 of clubs is clarified by a 2 of hearts. So this is indicating that we're going to see more evidence of how he verbally abused her in their relationship. And we might also see how I'm seeing where he's like encouraging her to be quiet or encouraging her to be silent. Okay. And I don't even think that she's going to be speaking in this next video that could come about. Also with this being the 3 of clubs here, this is indicative that we start to see how he doesn't do well with his anxiety. And when he feels anxious or when his anxieties are too high, he will misbehave, okay? In his house of intuition, he knows that he's losing a lot of money. There's a 9 of diamonds here. So right now, he is trying to pay to keep things from being exposed. The thing is that in these communications between his team and people that have evidence against him, they just keep hiking up the price. So if Diddy says 1,000, they're like, how about 1,250? Okay, I'll give you 1,250. How about 1,300? They're trying to see how high he can go. Diddy really wants to buy his social freedom at this time. We then have the 9 of diamonds, which is clarified by an ace of clubs, which is indicative that Diddy is going to continue talking about this. There will be another statement that he makes, okay? He will make another statement about this, and it is going to be new. But he's not going to bring us any new information as indicated by an ace of clubs. Rather, he's going to be giving commentary on the new information that is divulged to the media, okay? Please hit the motherfucking skull emoji because I'm reading my ass off. Thank you. That being said, what I can see from just the card spread right now, Diddy has to make these public statements because he doesn't really have the money anymore to fund really good public statements. He doesn't have the money anymore to pay a magazine to make him appear to be a family man. His money is really tied up. When we got a nine of diamonds, this indicates that you could have a windfall of money, but it can also indicate that you're spending a lot of money. But you have to have a lot of money to spend a lot of money, right? But the nine also indicates that he's letting go. He's someone that's very much attached to his coin. But right now, God is fucking the Sonic coins out of his ass. That's what a nine. Whenever y'all see a nine of diamonds, just be like, the Sonic coins are coming out of my ass. All right. I want y'all to repeat, put it in the comments. The Sonic coins are coming out of my ass. Put it in the comments. Type it in the comments. The nine of diamonds means the Sonic coins are coming out of my ass. Okay, so then we have a queen of clubs and a jack of spades. This queen of clubs in the house of organization is he's trying to essentially Diddy is trying to make statements so that Cassie doesn't make a statement. In some way, in his mind, he still feels that he has control over her. In his mind, he's like, when we're face to face, if I speak before you, that indicates to you that you should not talk. If I speak, you don't respond. But if you initiate the conversation, I can respond. Subconsciously, he's still operating in that way. So there is an anxiety that he has where he feels that he has to get out in front of this story. He feels that if he says something, Cassie ain't gonna say nothing. I've not seen that speech, but that Maricel was talking about that you saw in Diesel, but I can only imagine how that must have felt for somebody in the audience. And I'm assuming she didn't say shit back, but they probably didn't put a microphone on her face, but that clip or whatever y'all are talking about probably describes the nature of their relationship and how metaphorically why he's trying to get ahead of this story. Is just out of habit for him. There's a jack of spades clarifying the queen of clubs. We know the jack of spades is a card for a liar. Okay, put it in the comments. The jack of spades means you're lying. The jack of spades means you're lying. Okay, I'm teaching y'all how to read. So with this jack of spades being here, it means that he has to get together his lies, because with the queen of clubs being here, Cassie's going to tell the truth. There's a lot of truth that she's holding on to. She's not exactly ready to reveal it yet because she's trying to figure out how can she refine what she's saying so that it shows that she's learned from it and that she's moved past it. She wants to be able to tell these stories from a place of vulnerability so that she's not re-triggered by her retelling of those stories. In his house of hidden advantages, God is saying he has a six of diamonds, which is indicative that he has the money to, like, the six of diamonds is basically like, you owe me some money, but you can pay it back. You'll break even. So right now, he needs to be grateful that he's breaking even. The spirits are like, well, nigga, you're not in debt. I mean, is that a blessing? Do y'all think that's a blessing? Do y'all think that Diddy breaking financially even is a blessing or a curse? Because the spirits are like, nigga, you could have been in debt. The other thing is that right now, what he still has intact, he still has his ego intact. There's an eight of clubs here. The eight of clubs represents the ego. Put that in the comments. The eight of clubs is an ego card. It means what you think is who you become. Okay? So when you get an eight of clubs or you meet an eight of clubs, this is the card of manifestation. This is like whatever you think, you're going to internalize. That's what you're going to produce. That's what you're going to produce. Okay? So he still has his ego intact. So he still has an ability to hustle. He still knows he's still getting up and doing his day-to-day responsibilities. And he's still laser focused on trying to produce music. That's the other thing. I still see him being focused on trying to get some music out. In the house of, like, when we're talking about the best path for him to take, this means that, like, Spirit is suggesting that you do this and you go this route. Well, he's got the Joker. which is indicative of the spirits kind of laughing right now because they're like, there's really no best path to take. Again, that's just what the Joker means. There's no best path to take for him. It's kind of like the fool's journey. It's at this point, Diddy just has to trust the process. And he really does have to trust the process because we have the Jack of Clubs, which is, the Jack of Hearts, which is clarifying this Joker card. You see, the thing with the Joker is that the Joker possesses the energy of all the Jacks. So I want you to write that and type that in the comments and hit the skull emoji because I'm putting y'all niggas up on game and edutaining y'all at the same motherfucking time. So we got the Jack of Hearts here, which is indicative that there's a sacrifice that needs to be made. And there are things that you have to give up that you love in order for you to find salvation. So he's on a journey towards salvation. Now, it's not one that he wants to participate in. This is a journey that he was either thrust into or that he fell into by brute force, right? Because karma has caught up to him. Even Jesus Christ had karma. God told Jesus Christ, you're going to get your motherfucking black ass on that cross and die for these niggas. Jesus went into the forest for 40 days and 40 nights, said, bitch, I ain't ready. And by the time he was out, he said, shit, I done looked into my future. Black Spectrum Network done read my life. Quintaria said, hit the skull emoji and get your ass on that motherfucking cross. And Jesus died. Okay? But look what came about it. There was an immortalization of a religion. So in some way, Diddy's comeuppance is going to immortalize him in the music industry, for better or for worse. Take it how you want. And then finally, the outcome, we have the Five of Clubs, and then we have the Jack of Clubs. The Five of Clubs in this outcome position, a 5 means crisis. A 5 means change. Put that in the comments. 5 means crisis. 5 means change. We have the Five of Clubs here, which is indicative that there's a change of mind that's happening. However, this Five of Clubs is not talking about him changing his mind. It's almost talking about him being in a state where he feels like he could be losing his mind. And it's clarified by the Jack of Clubs. See, the Jack of Clubs represents someone who is engages in a lot of political talk. They you have to be it could be someone that has like the knowledge of an attorney, or this is someone that could be a very eloquent teacher. What we're going to find is that Diddy, like, he needs to be very careful not to do any interviews, even if they're benign. These could be interviews just talking about what the fuck you had to eat this morning. It looks like because of this stress, Diddy is going to appear incoherent when he speaks, when he talks. It seems that it almost feels like this is a consequence of him being overly inundated by all of what's happening to him, not being able to organize his thoughts and ideas and kind of just saying whatever. You know what I mean? So if you all enjoyed that portion of the reading, let me know and hit the motherfucking skull emoji. And so we're going to continue the reading as well with another question that I want to ask. And my next question that I want to ask is, what are some of the most shocking secrets about Diddy that have been kept private up until now? Okay, that's what we want to know. We have 58 people on the live. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I barely advertised. I'm never on here. I've never been on here in like 3 years, but that's just let y'all know I'm the shits. I'm still the best motherfucking reader on YouTube. Y'all niggas know that. Hit the goddamn skull emoji. Okay, y'all know what it is. If you are a member of Black Spectrum Network's mentorship program, I also want you to hit the castle emoji. Welcome to Black Spectrum Network. It looks like a castle, but it's just my house. The Six of Spades. The Six of Spades is indicative of abuse. The Six of Spades means that you did something to me, so I'm going to do something to you. But it's also abuse that doesn't change, right? So I think a lot of you all already know that she was in a cycle of abuse. I think that you all also know that it wasn't going to change either. But what we're going to find out, because there's a 6 here, there may be a spiritual component behind this abuse. So do not be surprised if you hear an allegation or an accusation that Diddy has participated in some form of a ritual or some sort of magic to either cover up the abuse, to manipulate the person into believing that it wasn't abuse, or he was using some form of magic to abuse a person. Okay, so when we get a 6 of spades card, when we're talking about abuse, this is like, hey, you're gonna make a blood contract with me. Prick your finger, sign on the dotted line, and then take your finger and swipe right underneath. You know what I mean? The next card that we have here, the 9 of diamonds, he was financially abusive. So what we will find out is that if Cassie may have taken out money or loans, or she may have acquired some sort of medical prescriptions for him in his name or something like that. The reason I'm saying that, it's a diamond. These are things that he cares about. Now, one thing that, there's a few things that we know Diddy cares about. We know he cares about music. He cares about money. He cares about his kids. He cares about pussy. He cares about Diddy. And so then we have... He does? Women. The thing. Let's pause right here. Maricel, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. So, my question for you is this. When you talk to me, you mentioned that Diddy had the energy of a pimp, and can you elaborate on what specific behaviors or actions led you to that conclusion?
So he has a sinister energy. That's what I picked up on. But I said that there was definitely a pimpish energy in the air, because the women that he came in with seemed like they all had a job to do. They were very, very aggressive. Every time I went to check on that section, they were very touchy-feely. They were very aggressive about inviting me to the real party after that ended. They kept asking me about what time I got off at work and would I come back to the hotel with them, that they're having an after party. And they didn't just take no for an answer. I said no every time, but every time I would return to the section, they would ask again. And then immediately after we spoke, they would go over to him like they were checking in with him. So it seemed like the energy was like they needed to recruit people to come to this after party. He was picking out the men that he wanted to be in the space, and he allowed the women, or he charged the women with getting other women's. Specifically, they were interested in me that night because they didn't bring any women up to the section. So, it was very aggressive. Almost like they couldn't go back and tell him I said no.
Right. So do you feel like his team was afraid of him at all?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There was an era of this was business. So even though they came with him to party and they were drinking and they were socializing, they never seemed like they were completely relaxed. They just kept looking over at him, and he would give them, nonverbal clues, and they would come over and they would check with him. Sometimes he would call them to him and they would have to jump and, do whatever he said. So it was like they were always on alert that if he needed something, they needed to tend to him. And I could tell that they didn't want to displease him. And he spent the majority of the time on his phone. He wasn't really making eye contact with people. He would look up every once in a while, and then when he would want something, But he was constantly, I could tell he was constantly aware of what was going on around him. He may have even been texting them, like the different members of his team, because they would come over to him often, but not coming over to check on him. They were coming over as if called.
You believe her?
I do.
Why?
I don't find that shocking. That does sound very pimpish, and then based off of experiences or stories that artists or different people around him have spoke about, that you've heard about on different channels, or different situations, that sounds as if something he would do, as you need to know he's in charge. And he makes that very clear to you and don't step out of line. And them recruiting other girls, it's like, yes, I bought you here, but you still have a job to do.
It was odd though, because I've seen, a lot of celebrities are, the boss and everyone else is there for them. But the way he interacted with them was so impersonal and so like he was dominant, and they seemed like the help, like he treated them as if they were help. And that's not common. I've waited on many celebrities and they're a little more familiar with their team. They're a little more casual. They're a little more relaxed, especially in that type of setting. They will speak to them directly. It was almost like he didn't want to be bothered speak. He wanted to have little effort in communicating to them. Like he didn't really want to make the effort. Like he, God forbid he would have had to get up out of his chair.
I want to ask, like, in both of y'all's opinion, how does Diddy's alleged behavior reflect like issues of power and exploitation in the music industry?
For me, I think it's more common than we realize. I think people have this idolization of people with money or men with money. And the reality is, when you have a certain amount of money, you have to be kind in certain ways, but usually behind that kindness is a hardness. So I don't think he didn't do things that others did. I just feel he took it to a whole nother level. Like he became the devil's den. He didn't just go play every now and then. He was the devil.
Marincel, given your experiences working in nightlife, just being a well-networked woman, how do you think that this reflects issues of power and exploitation in the music industry? Because I know you know a lot of people.
It's common, it's common. His behavior did stand out to me though. It was a different energy. It was a different dynamic. They seemed afraid of him. And that's not something I see often. I often see, people around celebrities are completely catering to them, and they definitely have the power, and they're definitely, groupies and things like that around. But the level of like having to be at attention at all times, and it was odd. It definitely stood out.
So was it like well known? Like at the time that you were, in the industry, was it?
It was well known that he liked to party, and that he liked to party with both men and women. That was well known.
So when you're saying party with both men and women,
yeah, party.
Like is that interchangeable with any other word, or?
I mean, his version of partying, right? Sex, drugs, rock and roll. So we're gonna go back to the reading. So
in the reading, we were leaving off at the 9 of Diamonds, and we were talking specifically about what else it is that Cassie could reveal the secrets that she's holding on to. We have the 8 of Spades here. This could indicate that Diddy had her performing like exercises or I don't, like kind of like a hazing. So it's like, girl, drop down and give me 50 push-ups, or twerk for 2 hours to Rack City or something like that. But there, I'm seeing that sometimes the abuse wasn't just verbal. Sometimes it was, I'm going to tell you to do something that will exhaust you. And I know I'm using the word exercise, but I'm talking about naked exercise with other people. If y'all get where I'm going with it. And that was a form of punishment. When we're talking about pimp culture, rape is a form of punishment, and sometimes you will have a fantasy that that this person really doesn't want to engage in, and guess what? You make them engage in it as a form of punishment. As I tap into his energy, there's a lot of unique there's a unique mechanisms that he's using to execute this sort of psychological abuse. It's very unique, the ways that he goes about maintaining control in his relationships. So we're going to keep looking. Blocking her, like she was not really able to use social media like that or the internet. It's like, it's almost like he had a child safety lock on her phone. Like there were certain apps she couldn't access. That 10 of Hearts here is a card of social media and trying to connect to the hearts of a group of people or multiple people. Hit the motherfucking skull emoji. We're at 67 viewers, and make sure that you all are also hitting the thumbs up button. He knew the reason that he was blocking her from using social media is because he didn't want her to communicate with people through social media. He didn't want her telling people what was going on via social media. Diddy cares a lot about gossip. Like he cares a lot about what people are saying about him. Now I'm seeing someone that when he has addressed gossip has a nonchalant demeanor and says that he provides words of wisdom, stay above the fray, don't pay attention to the gossip. But I honestly see that this is something that he really does care. He honestly does care about, and in private, he is trying to debunk those rumors, or he's trying to make fun of those rumors or poke fun at those rumors. But those rumors do get under his skin. We also have an 8 of Clubs here, which is indicative that Diddy is, again, when we got the 8 of Clubs, it's who I think is who I become. But in regard to abuse, the 8 of Clubs is who I think you are is who you will become. And so he thought that Cassie was loose or that she was a harlot. And he would make accusations about her. And that's what I'm saying. I'm seeing him making these accusations that she was either unfaithful or she had a sexual appetite that matched his. But ultimately that's just him projecting onto her his expectations. And she sometimes was able to meet his fantastical expectations. But again, she was forced to do it. You think about the environment and conditions that she was living under. You know what I'm saying?
So fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline